Hello dear students, I hope you all are fine and doing well in your studies. So students, now that we have covered the chapter sets, it is time to do some questions which have been asked in the previous years of JEE mains examination. So let's get started with the questions asked in previous years. So our first question says, two newspapers A and B are published in a city. It is known that 25% of the city population reads A and 20% reads B, while 8% reads both A and B. Further, 30% of those who read A but not B look into the advertisements, and 40% of those who read B but not A also look into advertisements, while 50% of those who read both A and B look into advertisements. Then the percentage of the population who look into advertisements is. So the question seems to be little bit large in terms of the language, but it is an easy question based on the set theory. First of all, let us write down the given information. I am assuming, since the data is given in form of percentage, I am assuming that let total population is equal to 100. Alright, now it has been given that 25% of total population reads A. So 25% of 100 will be equal to 25. For the easy calculation, we have assumed the total population to be 100. So number of people who read newspaper A are 25, number of people who read newspaper B are 20, and number of people who read both A and B are equal to 8. So one can easily form and imagine the Venn diagram in this particular scenario. Let us consider this is set A and this is set B. Since total persons which are common to both A and B are 8, so here we will have 17, because 17 plus 8 equals to 25, and over here in only B region we will have 12 persons. Alright, now the percentage of population who look into advertisement are 30% of those who are belonging to this region, which means 30% of 17. So let us write 30% of 17 will be simply 30 multiplied by 17 upon 100, and then we have 40% of this population, which means 40 multiplied by 12 by 100, and 50% of population which are over here in the common region of A and B. So this is going to be 8 multiplied by 50 divided by 100. So this is the total population that are looking into advertisements. Alright students, so now we have to just perform this calculation, and this is going to be 5.1 plus 4.8 plus 4, and they add up to give us a total of 13.9, which has been given to us in choice D. So for this particular question, choice D is correct, and this question was asked in the year 2019 in JEE mains examination. I hope everybody must have understood. Let's move forward and see our next question. So this question says, in a class of 60 students, 40 students opted for NCC, 30 opted for NSS, and 20 opted for both NCC and NSS. If one of these students is selected at random, then the probability that the student selected has opted neither for NCC nor for NSS is. So this is basically again a problem based on set theory, and probability nominally has been asked. So let's begin with the solution part. First of all, we are again going to write down the given data. So number of students who has opted for NCC, let us consider them to be in set A, and this is equal to 40. Number of students who have opted for NSS, let us consider them to be in set B, and this is equal to 30. And number of students in both are equal to 20. And total number of students, which means number of elements in universal set, is equal to 60. So this is the given data of the question. Now we are interested in finding the probability of the student who has neither NCC nor NSS. So first of all, we will calculate number of elements that are present in neither set A nor set B, because this is what required for probability. First we will have to calculate total number of favorable outcomes. Now this can be calculated with the help of De Morgan's law. N A dash intersection B dash will be N A union B whole dash, and again we can write it down as N U, that is number of elements in universal set, minus number of elements in A union B. Alright students, so far so good. So this becomes equal to number of elements in universal set minus number of elements in A union B will be number of elements in A plus number of elements in B minus number of elements common to A and B. Now NU is given to us as 60 minus number of elements in A is 40 and number of elements in B is 30 and number of elements which are common to both are 20. So this becomes 60 minus 50, which is equal to 10. So we are done with calculating the total number of outcomes that are favorable. N A dash intersection B dash is equal to 10. Now we have been asked about the probability of A dash intersection B dash. So this is going to be N A dash intersection B dash divided by total number of elements, that is number of elements in universal set. So this we have already calculated as 10 divided by 60, which is equal to 1 by 6. So in all, this problem was also based on the formula that we study in set theory. This consisted of De Morgan's law and formula of A union B. And then in one line probability was asked, which was not playing any major role in this particular question. So I would consider this question also to be a question of set theory itself. And the correct answer has been given in choice A, that is 1 by 6. So this question was also asked in the year 2019 in JEE mains exam, and I hope everybody must have been able to do it and understand it. Let's move forward and see our next question. Next question says, let S is this set which is consisting of 100 natural numbers starting from 1. We have 100 natural numbers starting from 1. The number of non-empty subsets A of S such that the product of elements in A is even is going to be how much? This has been asked. So let's begin with the solution part. Now first of all, we have been asked about non-empty subsets, which means that null set is not to be taken under consideration because null set is an empty set, and the subsets must be such that the product of elements in that is even. So if product of elements is even, then we can say that either the elements can be even and odd. We can have a combination of elements to be even and odd because multiplication of these two will give us an even number. Or there might be a possibility that all the elements are even because even multiplied by an even number will again give us an even number. But if both the numbers are odd, then odd multiplied with an odd number will not give us an even number. So we have to just focus on these cases because these are the unfavorable cases. Alright, so what we are going to do is we are going to count total number of subsets which are non-empty. So this is going to be simply 2 raised to the power 100 minus 1 because there are 100 total elements. So total number of subsets are 2 raised to the power 100 and 1 is subtracted because we were interested in non-empty subsets. Now we will count total number of subsets having odd elements only, and that too non-empty. So odd elements, which means 1, 3, 5 and so on till 99. So now these are 50. So total number of subsets non-empty are going to be simply 2 raised to the power 50 minus 1. Now in order to have a subset in which product of elements is even, we will have to subtract this quantity from this quantity. So our required subsets will be equal to 2 raised to the power 100 minus 1 minus 2 raised to the power 50 minus 1. So this is going to be 2 raised to the power 100 minus 2 raised to the power 50. 2 raised to the power 50 can be taken as common, and we are left with 2 raised to the power 50 minus 1, which is given in choice A. So this question was also asked in the year 2019 in JEE mains examination, and it was moderate problem which was based on total number of subsets which we study in set theory. I hope everybody must have understood. Let's move further. So next question says two sets A and B are as under. This is set A satisfying this, and this is set B. And we have been asked about which set is the subset of another set, or is there any relation between set A and set B. So let's begin with the solution part of this question. For set A, we have been given a relation mod A minus 5 is less than 1 and mod B minus 5 is also less than 1, where A and B belongs to subset of real numbers. So A minus 5 lies in the interval of minus 1 to 1, and B minus 5 also lies in the interval of minus 1 to 1. So A lies in the interval of 4 to 6 and B also lies in the interval of 4 to 6. Alright, so A and B are lying from 4 to 6. Now let us talk about set B. Now set B has an inequality A minus 6 whole square plus B minus 5 whole square. This will be divided by 9 and this will be divided by 4 is less than or equal to 1. What we have done? We have simply divided the inequality throughout by 36 in order to get this inequality. Now if we consider A and B as x's, this is going to be a region inside ellipse whose center is at 6, 5, and this will indicate a square. So now if we were to draw the figure corresponding to both set A and set B, so we will get an ellipse in this way. Now this point is not origin, but in fact it is the center of this ellipse, which is 6, 5, and set A represents a square in which sides are lying from 4 to 6. So it will be something like this. This will denote the region of square, and we have an ellipse for which this coordinate is going to be 6, 7. This coordinate is going to be 6, 3. This coordinate is going to be 9, 5. And that is why we can say with surety that this square lies completely inside the ellipse. So set A represents a square. Let us name it PQRS. And set B represents the interior region of the ellipse or the periphery of ellipse. So we can simply see that square is lying completely inside the ellipse, and hence we can say that set A is a subset of set B, and that too a proper subset of set B because it is not equal to set B, and corresponding to it we have been given choice B, which is correct one. So this question was asked in JEE mains examination in the year 2018, and I hope everybody must have understood. Let's move forward. This question says if f of x plus twice f of 1 by x equals to 3x, where x is non-zero, and a set S has been specified, it is the collection of all the real elements x such that f of x equals to f of minus x, then it has been asked about S, whether it contains one element, two elements, more than two elements, or it is an empty set. So basically we have been asked about the total number of elements in set S. So first of all, we have been given a functional relation f of x plus twice f of 1 by x equals to x, where x is non-zero. So for the evaluation of f of x, for the determination of function f of x, we will simply replace x by 1 by x in the above equation. So we can get f of 1 by x plus twice f of x equals to 3 over x. Alright, now we are going to multiply this equation. Let us consider this equation number 2 and this is equation number 1. So we are going to multiply equation number 2 by number 2. So we get twice f of 1 by x plus 4 times f of x is equal to 6 over x. Alright students, consider this to be equation number 3. Let us subtract equation number 1 from equation number 3. So 3 minus 1 would give us 3 times f of x equals to 6 by x minus 3x. So from here we are going to get f of x as 2 by x minus x. Alright students, now in set S we have been given f of x as to be equal to f of minus x. So this function satisfies this relation. So we can say that 2 by x minus x is equal to 2 upon minus x plus x. So we have 4 by x equals to 2x and x square is equal to 2, which means that x is equal to plus minus root 2, and both of these values of x are real, so it satisfies set S. So set S basically contains two elements and those two elements are root 2 and negative of root 2. So corresponding to this question, choice C is correct, where we have been given that set S contains exactly two elements. So I hope everybody of you must have understood this particular question also, which required a little bit of determination of function idea and which was based on the total number of elements or the cardinality of a given set along with functional rule. And this question was asked in the year 2016 in mains examination. Let's move forward and see our next question. This question says, if x equals to 4 raised to the power n minus 3n minus 1, where n is natural, so x is this set and y is a set such that n is natural and it is equal to number of elements following 9 multiplied by n minus 1, where n is the set of natural numbers, then x union y is equal to. So let's begin with the solution part of this question. So for determination of x union y, we will have to first see about the set x and set y, which one of these two is larger or whether there is any relation between them or not. So in set x, we have been given 4 raised to the power n minus 3n minus 1. So when we substitute the values of n as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, that is the natural values of n, for n equals to 1, we get 4 minus 3 minus 1, which is 0. For n equals to 2, we get 16 minus 6 minus 1, which is 9. For n equals to 3, we get 64 minus 9 minus 1, which is 54. For n equals to 4, we get 256 minus 12 minus 1, which is 243. So set x is basically consisting of these elements. Alright students, we have simply substituted the values of n as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And for set y, we have been given relation 9 multiplied by n minus 1. So here if I substitute n equals to 1, we get the first element as 0. When substituted n equals to 2, we get second element as 9. When n is substituted 3, we get third element as 18. When n is substituted 4, we get next element as 27 and then 36 and so on. So this is simply set y and these are the elements of set y. Alright, I hope everybody must have been able to figure out set x and set y. Now one can see that all the elements of set x will be present in set y, because in set y we are getting multiples of 9 including a 0, and over here also we are getting multiples of 9, but not all the multiples of 9 is present in set x. So definitely set y will be containing all the elements of set x. So we can say that x is a subset of y. But we have been asked about union of x and y. So suppose x is like this, so y is something like this, because y contains all the element of set x. So if we were to do the operation of union of these two sets, then we would simply get set y. So x union y will be set y itself, and which has been given to us in choice D. So corresponding to this question, choice D is correct. So I hope everybody must have understood this question also, which was asked in the year 2014. So we have simply substituted the values of n which were given in set x and set y in order to determine the set x or the elements of set x and the elements of set y, and we saw the set x is the subset of set y, and hence x union y comes out to be y. Now I hope everybody must have understood. Next question says, if A, B and C are three sets such that A intersection B equals to A intersection C and A union B equals to A union C, then which of the following is correct? So let's begin with the solution part. Since we have been given that A union B equals to A union C, now we can apply intersection C to both the sides in order to get A union B intersection C equals to A union C intersection C. Now in LHS we can apply distributive property, because union is distributive over intersection and intersection is distributive over union. So we will write A intersection C union B intersection C, and this is equal to set C, because A union C will be this Venn diagram, and when taken intersection with set C, this will give us set C itself. I hope everybody understands. So in RHS we get set C. Alright, let us consider this to be relation number 1. Now I am rewriting the same A union C equals to A union B, and now I am applying intersection to both the sides but intersection with B. So again in LHS, according to distributive property, we can write A intersection B union C intersection B is equal to, in RHS again from Venn diagram, A union B intersection B will give us set B itself. Now A intersection B is given to be equal to A intersection C in the question itself. So this can be replaced with A intersection C. Further, union C intersection B can be written as B intersection C according to the commutative property, and this is equal to set B. Let us consider this to be equation number 2. Now one can observe that equation number 1 and equation number 2 has same LHS, so their RHS must also be same, and hence set B equals to set C, which has been given in choice B. So corresponding to this question, choice B is correct, and it was asked in the year 2009. So students, I hope everyone must have understood all the questions that we discussed in this particular chapter. So this is it for first chapter of sets. We will be meeting again very soon. But till then, take care and keep studying. Thank you.